Aztecs getting set for their first conference game, and big news on the Pac-12 front. Hello and welcome to Aztecs All In. I'm Louis Weiner along with Steve Perez, and word today that the new Pac-12 has a new addition, and it's a big one. Gonzaga officially became the 8th member of the conference in basketball and other sports beginning in July 2026. The conference still needs an 8th for football, but it's exciting news for hoops fans who will now get to see the Aztecs and Bulldogs play 2 times a year. Now let's say hello to my co-host, Steve Perez. Hey, Steve.
Well, Louis, here we are, Aztecs 1-3, but a conference opening win against visiting Hawaii would sure go a long way towards easing a little bit of the sting from last week.
Coming up on this edition of Aztecs All In, Coach Sean Lewis talks about the challenges facing an offense that's very similar to his own.
And we'll check in with Aztecs special teams in the wake of that yin and yang performance last week against Central Michigan.
The 1-3 San Diego State Aztecs have a chance to start the conference season 1-0 Saturday night, hosting Hawaii at 5 o'clock at Snapdragon Stadium. Aztecs coming off that heartbreaking 1-point loss to Central Michigan on the road after missing 2 fourth-quarter field goals. Hawaii is 2-2 this season, and coming off a bye week, Aztecs have had a lot of success against Hawaii, especially at home, where they've won 12 of 16 games, including 10 of the last 11. Meeting with the media this week, head coach Sean Lewis talked about being proud of his team despite the loss to Central Michigan. And while many things didn't go the Aztecs' way at times, those are teachable moments.
Proud of the way that the guys responded yesterday, learning from the tape and the experience of traveling to Central Michigan. Obviously, not the result that we're looking for, but the process we continue to refine, we continue to get better, and there's growth, and we're making some positive strides in areas of the game. I need to continue to take those steps, need to continue to learn from these hard lessons and earn the victories that we know that we're capable of by preparing and executing in the moment when the time is right for us to come out on the right side of it. Obviously, we got a great opportunity to be back home this week against a very dangerous Hawaii team that does a really good job throwing the ball all over the yard. They have an attacking style defensively. Will challenge you to play man-to-man and a really, really well-coached outfit. So they're coming off a bye. Know that they'll have extra time, and some good wrinkles for us that we need to be prepared for, have good answers for, but looking forward to the opportunity to go compete again this Saturday and come home with a win by doing things the right way throughout the course of the week. Teachable moments. Always learning, always growing. It's embedded in our culture and who we are to where we're going to improve and compete each and every single day. That's our Be the Alpha mantra. And so, again, there's lessons that we have to learn as we go through this process, as we build our culture, and as we grow in our roles, with everyone in the organization. So great opportunities for us to learn, great opportunities for us to grow. And, again, the way the guys showed up yesterday, the body language that they had, the way that they responded to the coaching, and we're able to take those lessons. Now we need to go forth and we need to apply them the way that they have throughout the course of the year. As we open up conference play, looking forward to applying that, tomorrow as we step on the practice field and prepare to win at the right level.
Quarterback Danny O'Neal got the start after missing 1 game due to injury. O'Neal played efficiently, going 14 of 23 with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. And Coach Lewis says his young quarterback continues to grow on the job.
Yeah, his growth is the one thing that impresses me the most about it, right? Each week as he goes and as he steps out there and his preparation, again, his attention to detail continues to get better and better and better. And then, again, by how he's going about his work, we're breathing life into the deep ball, and that's a testament to not only his work and his prep, but the throw game and the way that the guys are protecting for him that allows him to do the things that he's doing and know that he can keep his eyes downrange and make good decisions with the ball so that he values it and he doesn't turn it over. So just his overall growth and those that are around him, the way that they're growing collectively so that we can continue to take good positive strides and get the vertical passing game going and to be able to create some vertical space that will alleviate some stress in the run game as well.
Aztecs got a strong effort from defensive lineman Trey White, who finished the game with 3 sacks before leaving in the second half due to injury. I got the chance to ask Coach about White's performance and what his status is after the injury, and the news is positive. Coach, Trey White, great game for him, and then he left. What's the update on him, and talk a little bit about the game that he had?
Yeah, again, Trey, we've talked about it at length, and we will continue to, because he's the standard of having relentless focus, having great effort every single day. When he's in the building, he obsesses about the details. How he performs in practice really impacts his day. Like when he messes up on a Tuesday, like it bothers him, right? Because he knows that there's a direct correlation to then how that's going to show up on a Saturday. So he has a sense of urgency to get it right. And again, that then how he prepares, how he goes about his business throughout the course of the week shows up, which everyone gets to see with another huge effort, lots of production, 3 sacks. In terms of his health, he's good. Just some cramping. He's fine. He's all good, and he'll be up and be ready to roll.
This will be the first conference game of the season for both the Aztecs and Hawaii. Both of Hawaii's wins have come against FCS opponents, Delaware State and Northern Iowa. Their losses came at home to UCLA, 16-13, and on the road, 31-13 at Sam Houston. Hawaii is led by quarterback Braden Shaker, who has made 26 straight starts dating back to 2022. Shaker is coming off a huge game in that 36-7 win over Northern Iowa, going 35 for 43 for 374 yards and 4 touchdown passes. He started the game with 12 straight completions, and he can also run the ball. He leads the team in yards gained on the ground with 128, and he has 2 rushing touchdowns. Coach Lewis talked about what it will be like facing Hawaii's high-flying offense.
Yeah, again, his poise in the pocket, his composure and understanding of their scheme. He's an accurate passer as well. I think he's around 60%, so he's valuing the football. He's really dialed into where his guys are going to be. You see a lot of anticipatory throws, right, to where when he's letting go of the ball, it's like he's putting it in grass where you don't necessarily see a receiver, and then all of a sudden, right, guys are running to that window because of his level of comfort and the connection in the throw game. So we got to do a good job up front applying pressure and not letting him be comfortable in that pocket, right, and we got to do a good job disguising some coverages and not giving him static pictures in the back end to where he sees pre-snap what it is post-snap, but being able to play with those pictures. Conference is strong, obviously aware of all that's going on with what Hawaii has done, obviously sitting 2-2, right? They've gotten some good quality wins. They battled with UCLA, right? Again, like they're explosive offensively. They got over 1,000 yards passing already. Again, quarterback's super accurate, great feel and great comfort within the offensive scheme. They got a new defensive coordinator that's very aggressive as well, likes to play a lot of man coverage. Their backers play downhill. They're aggressive. They're physical. So again, it's a well-coached unit. It's a well-coached outfit in all 3 phases with a lot of playmakers that we got to do a great job, being on our P's and Q's and really having great fundamentals, great eye discipline, and playing our brand of football to go earn this win throughout this week of process and the preparation so we can be in the right positions on Saturday to go execute.
Hawaii has struggled on the road under Coach Timmy Chang with just 1 win in their last 13 games, and they've lost 11 straight games on national TV, with Saturday's game set to be shown on CBS Sports Network. But Coach Lewis says there's some talent on both their defensive and offensive lines.
Again, their aggressive style of play, their willingness to challenge you in man-to-man, and they got 2 dynamic edges that, can apply pressure to the quarterback, and they got a really nice nose that can collapse the pocket from within. So they're a very sound unit that, again, has a default aggressive nature about them, which is, on par with who their new defensive play caller is, who I highly respect as a coach and as a man, and, excited for the challenge that lay ahead this week.
Coach Lewis says while the goal is to win every game, it's also important to emphasize that there are only so many opportunities for this team to compete. And this being the first conference game makes this game that much more important.
If we're doing it the right way, as we continue to build this thing out, each and every single day there should be a great sense of urgency, a great obsession to get it right. And regardless of who the opponent is, whether it's a conference game or not, it shouldn't change our approach and how we do things, right? The only thing that I think has kind of heightened the senses or increased the urgency around the building as of late is that the understanding of the amount of time that's guaranteed to us as this team and within this season, as we keep moving and the opportunities keep coming and going, is that like we're only guaranteed 8 more games, 8 more opportunities, and none more important than this one because it's the next one. But that has increased, and I have felt the level of urgency ramp up because of that, because there's a group of seniors that, again, only have 8 guaranteed games that are left, and that we need to pour in and have that obsession to detail into our process and how we go about things throughout the course of the week with a greater sense of urgency that we can earn more playing time and that this team, this unit, can stay together longer than just what's on the schedule right now.
Steve, at Central Michigan, it was a rough game for place kicker Nick Lopez, who missed 2 short field goals late. Coach Lewis says at practice this week, both Lopez and Gabriel Placencia will get the chance to prove themselves. He talked about the competition and what went wrong for Lopez in the Central Michigan game.
We continue to refine the technique. We continue to put them in pressure-packed situations, and the guys who are trained and will perform in practice will be the ones that will get the key kicks come Saturday at the game. I mean, those situations that we had are always going to be field goal situations, especially given the situation of the game and where we were and the landscape of how that game was playing out. And, again, having confidence in those guys that, hey, that's your job. You're trained to do that in that manner, and they know that, and they're going to go execute, and they're going to, wear that badge of honor, so to speak, right, with how they're going to go perform and step up in those moments in the future. I think it was an overcorrection, right? I mean, the first one we pushed right, we overcorrected, and he pushed left, right? I mean, so, again, like those guys know their strokes, know their swings better than anyone else, right? And they know the nuances of how to get it ironed out. And, again, we'll guide them and we'll correct them. But those guys have tremendous belief in themselves, and we have belief in them as well. And, again, we'll work through the competition yet again this week, get it ironed out, and the best guy will be out there to put it through the pipes come Saturday.
Steve, the Aztecs in Hawaii go way back, including their time together in the Western Athletic Conference, and the Aztecs have had tons of success with an all-time record of 25-11-2. And if you recall, last year's game was a thriller in Honolulu. Aztecs jumped out to a 17-point lead, but Hawaii took a 24-20 lead after 3 before the Aztecs scored 21 points in the fourth quarter to pull it out.
Lewis were coming off a shoulda, woulda, coulda, oughta, didn't game against Central Michigan, and the spotlight falls on special teams where it was a decidedly mixed bag. This being a game you play to win, the Aztecs, of course, did not, with a couple of you-know-what-skis wiping out some numerous attaboys. Speaking, of course, of the 2 missed field goals in crunch time by Nick Lopez that led to a 1-point defeat. Special Teams Coach Zac Barton met up with us earlier this week, and he was not in the mood for making excuses about the results. Started out asking him how he felt about the place-kicking situation.
Well, not good. Let us down. The reason we lost the ball game. You can say whatever you want in between punching in or not. Those are makeable kicks, and we got to do our job.
Is Nick Lopez still the place kicker, or are you?
We're still working through some things right now. That was just a moment of time for Nick. He's done a lot since he's been here. He did a great job in the spring. He did a great job in the summer, and up till this point, you know what I mean, we had a bad day. So we're still working through some things.
I'm sure that he wouldn't have been out there if he didn't show that in practice.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great kid. He's been through those moments, and he feels about it as bad as you can feel about things. So at the end of the day, we got to make that kick.
After something like that happens, do you have to do like a shrink job on a place kicker like that?
No, not at all. I mean, he's a tough kid. It comes along with the position. They all know that. They all signed up for it. They know what the deal is. We got to move on at this point. Thinking about it doesn't do any good.
Right. People recall the misses, right? And the immediate result at the end of the game, that's 6 points that could have been on the board. But the special teams also made a big play early on that set up a score, right? So that's also part of it.
Yeah, everything's interconnected. When you play special teams, you get one shot at it. There isn't any second down or any third down. So you got one shot to make a play. And at the end of the game, the kicks like that, that's what's going to show up. And earlier in the game when Chris made a great job getting that ball out and us recovering it, and that led to points. So that's what we're capable of, and we need to do more of that.
Then in the second half, I've seen the play work when the Aztecs did it, faked the punt, got the first down, and continued the possession. This time, Central Michigan pulled it on you. Was that something you were ready for? Of course, you practiced those.
I should have taken the time out there. Saw it. They came on a formation that they've never shown before, and they had the end man on the end of the line of scrimmage eligible. We were trying to communicate from the sideline and get it on the field, and we didn't do that, and that's on us as coaches. You know what I mean? We got to bang a time out there and get our guys lined up and ready to go.
I think the one thing that fans don't notice that someone who follows the game closely does and appreciates is there are a lot of different elements to any special teams play. Are you feeling good about all the elements and all parts of all phases of the special teams? Are there things that you'd like to see improvement in?
I think it's a working process right now. We got to stop making the same mistakes over and over again. I think we got a really talented punter, and we got to do a better job of protecting him. And our fundamentals need to get better getting off blocks, not stacking color, things of that nature. We haven't had to cover a lot of kicks yet, kickoff-wise. Which has been good. You know what I mean? If we can kick it to the end zone, not have to cover it, certainly alleviate some stress there. And we've left a lot of meat in the bone on KOR and punt return now. You know what I mean? So we got a long way to go before we get where we need to be.
Do you examine the special teams play of Hawaii and game plan for that as well? Do you see anything that they have in the special teams that fans need to keep an eye out?
I mean, they've got a new punter that's done a phenomenal job directionally recruiting Aussie kid that's sprayed it all over. It's difficult to know where he's going to put the ball. He's done a really good job, and they've got a punt return touchdown already this year. They do some good things, and they stress the block point for sure on punt return, and they're going to provide a lot of stress, and we got to be able to handle it.
Is there anything mentally you impress upon all the members of special teams? Because you don't really get them all at once in a room like some of the other position players do, right?
Well, we actually get them together quite a bit, and they know to play. Every play is unique, and they got to do their job, and they got to be ready to go, and they only got one shot at it. So I think that's been stressed, and they know that. We just have to start executing.
Are you done beating yourself up over the performance? Because you got Hawaii coming up, and I hope.
Yeah, I mean, you got to move on. It's one of those things that's, I mean, I got certain plays in my career, coaching-wise, that you're never going to let go of, and that's going to be one of them. That's just the way it is, and you got to move on to the next. It's not something you're going to forget. That costs us a ball game.
Every once in a while, I still see this ball flying over my head in right field in a Colt game from back in the day.
Yep. You're not going to forget that. No, right.
Perez, no! Why'd you step forward on that fly ball? Back up! It's going over you. Back up! Anyway, Lewis, appreciate Zac Barton being stand-up about what happened in those moments and where that phase of the team is at this particular time. Anyone who's ever stood up to the tee box needing to put a golf shot on the green instead of yanking it into the pond knows that feeling. Yep, stings. But as anyone who has ever been in that kind of spot under pressure, it's just time to tell all those negative dudes in your brain to shut up. I'm knocking this one in.
Steve, earlier you heard Sean Lewis speak highly of Trey White and his performance against Central Michigan, but he's not the only defensive lineman making a name for himself this season. Senior Tupu Alualu is having an exceptional season himself. He's tied for third on the team in tackles for loss and tied for second in sacks, and today you got the chance to spend some time with him.
Lewis had to wait a while to get this interview with defensive tackle Tupu Alualu. He was talking story with Honolulu media about all the time he spent playing the game growing up in Oahu, where they love sports of almost any kind, and especially love their football. Lots of guys on Hawaii now he played against when he was on Mauna Lua and St. Louis high schools. But that was a ways back, and some were much younger, he says. We covered a lot of ground, and there's a lot to cover with a young man who wears number 99 for the Aztecs defense. He stands 6'1", 280, named to the preseason Polynesian watch list, comes from a big family. Has an uncle by the same name who played running back for Hawaii and is now coaching noted Honolulu school, St. Louis. Also a brother Tyson who played for the Steelers. Enjoyed checking in with him this week, Lewis, about the opposition, the numerous ticket requests from family and friends, and the Aztecs defense.
Mostly for our D-line is to go make trouble to the quarterback, like go be a bully. A lot of us focusing on the pass. We know Hawaii like to pass the ball. Majority of the time, these past 4 games, they pass the ball, so we're more focused on all them quick throws and just getting in the way of the quarterback and making him throw out of a whale.
Right, you're talking about that quarterback. He's able to throw the ball all over the yard, but he can also take off and run.
Definitely need like a spy, just in case like one of us rushing in lanes that we can't protect, and we got a spy there to follow the QB anywhere he try to just do a QB draw, or if he rolling out, we always got someone on top of him.
You spent a lot of time before we started this interview talking to the media in Honolulu. Yeah. And do you have any personal feelings going up against the team from your home state?
Definitely. Just like last year we had a pretty bad record going into the Hawaii game, and just to myself and telling my fellow D linemen, like, hey, we could lose. Like, we already lost too many games. We can't lose to my home state. Like, I feel like it's bigger for me going against like my home state and just not wanting to leave home with a loss, or like make home leave me with a dub. So it's definitely something big.
Also, is it my imagination, because I've been following Aztec for football for a long time, but does the team from the islands have a little bit more in the tank for San Diego State when they play?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like they know what kind of offense we are, what kind of defense we are, and I just feel like that's a challenge to them, what kind of defense and offense that they run. So knowing that we have a 1-3 record, I'm sure, a lot of fans are going to want to come out for Hawaii, and they definitely think they got the upper hand on us, but we're going to come out and show them.
How does your ohana travel for these games?
A lot of my family just come out to Hawaii. I asked them to just let me know in advance because we got to get our tickets in by Wednesday, but a lot of them just fly from Hawaii, some from Pittsburgh. I just got family all over, so they just hit me up and ask me for tickets, and I go find them some tickets.
How many people do you figure are going to be there cheering on?
So last year's Hawaii game, I had like 60 to 70 people pull up to the game wearing my face on their shirt, and yeah, it was definitely a crazy game, and a good thing that we got the win.
So what do they think about you, playing college ball at San Diego State? What do you get back from them?
No, yeah, they definitely wanted me to stay home, like not because that's their team or anything, but because of course they miss me and stuff. So like they'd want me to, go handle my work and then come home and visit them when I can. Because being out here in San Diego, barely get to see them, but they definitely know that I'm here to work, and it's just a business I'm here for.
When was the last time you were on the islands, and who do you get to see, and talk about your family back there?
Yeah, so last time I went back home, I think it was spring break. For spring break, I went back home. The big brother that went to the league, Tyson, he came home too with his family, and it was like the first time all 9 of us siblings was home at the same time with all the kids, and just having our family there is just something special, definitely.
How many?
There's 9 of us. I'm the youngest of 9 kids, yeah, so.
Did that toughen you up, being the youngest in a big family?
Yeah, definitely toughened me up. I used to get beat up from my older sisters and my brother, so yeah, definitely.
Beat you up?
Yeah, I got 7 sisters, but they're like my older brothers too.
But now, having been here for a bit, what do you think about San Diego State and its prospects? Not just in the past, because it's got a pretty proud legacy defensively.
Yes.
Now there's a bit of a changeover in the regime. What do you feel about the future and the current state of the program? What's your thoughts?
I feel like it's looking good right now. I know that it's not looking that way right now, but it's definitely a rebuilding team. So like you're not always going to start off fast every time, and I just think the coach's culture is going to work. They talk about work works, and having the +1 day, just having that extra little push you need each and every day. And everybody here, we got freedom, we got music here. I just feel like it's a whole different vibe, and everybody's liking it, but we just got to show it on Saturdays and just bring it out.
Okay. Do you have any additional thoughts on the game coming up?
Yeah, I definitely got to go crazy this game. I got to get sacks, I got to get tackles, force fumbles. I just want to try to be the player to, make a difference in the game. If we need a turnover, I want to be that one to make the turnover. If we need a stop and I got to do a stunt, I'll do whatever it takes. We just really need to win this game.
All right, Tupu, good luck.
Thank you
very much for taking the time.
Thank you for the interview.
Louis, the name Tupu is Samoan for chief or king. It has a regal implication. Of course, Tupu hoping he can rule over the Rainbow Warriors in the conference opener. Okay, we're calling Pauhana on this edition of Aztecs All In. Check us out on the X at Aztecs_all_in. Your thoughts, of course, always welcome at aztecsallin@gmail.com. So, till this weekend after the Aztecs take on the Rainbow Warriors of the University of Hawaii, Steve Perez for Louis Weiner saying, aloha!